Hello, welcome to another episode of Constitutionalist Podcast. I am your host, Joseph M. Leonard. That's L-E-N-A-R-D. It looks French. It's not. It's Leonard without an O. Thank you for tuning in. As Graham Norton used to say on his show, let's get on with the show! Hello, gang. How are you doing? This is a cheat segment. I am recording this as a lead-in to a standard Saturday show that is going to now air through the audio platforms, 25 plus, of Constitutionalist Podcasts. What was formerly a CTP video exclusive that I feel needs to go out as a regular show. So bear that in mind when recorded. It was a video exclusive. So the dates, it could be from a month ago. It could be from a couple months ago. So bear that in mind when you hear things regarding time frames. It may be from a while ago, so particular references may be a little dated. And this segment of cheat, right? I'm recording it. I'll be using it with several video exclusives turned Saturday episodes. Without further ado, let's get on with the show! Unemployment. Jobs numbers. We just got more jobs numbers today. I wanted to explain something because there's a whole lot of people that don't know. And of course, with the left, they don't know. They don't want to know. They don't care to know. They just want to take numbers regurgitated by CNN and the MSNBCs and twist and warp them to be applied, in this case TDS style, against Trump, or previously to make Biden or Obama look better, or to previously attack G.W. Bush, or going all the way back to Carter and Reagan, right? Prop up the Democrat, try to tear down the Republican. So it's time we had a serious discussion about that. How is the bottom line of what I'm getting to here is what matters is the labor workforce participation rate. How that is measured. Are more people working than previously or less? More Americans actually have jobs and being productive parts of society, or more needing to potentially be put on in the cart and pulled, given handouts because they're not employed, not currently employable, the Obama and Biden destruction of the economy, jobs contracting. All right? So labor workforce participation rate is what really matters, and that's rising again, as generally happens during GOP administrations, and usually goes down under Democrat administrations, but the left wants to use unemployment number. So let's explain how that is a farce much of the time, how they are measured. If I'm working and the economy during Biden, it takes a downturn with runaway inflation and a lot of people, and I explained in the other video, I had a rally burger and fries, and coming back to haunt me there. Apologies. All right. Bad economy, people lose their job. The labor workforce participation rate goes down. The unemployment rate, obviously, people lose their jobs. If they are going to the unemployment office where we think and expect they go to, the unemployment rate goes up because they're measured. However, the reality is, and here's where the numbers get fudged by the left when there's a Democrat administration. They did it during Obama, they did it during Biden. Right after the whatever weeks they qualify for the unemployment check, if they stop going to the unemployment office or reporting online, looking for a job, they go off the unemployment stat. The unemployment number artificially goes down. It's not that they aren't unemployed anymore. They didn't find a new job. It's that they stopped looking. They gave up. Your economy under Joseph Robinette Biden was so bad, people couldn't find jobs. They temporarily gave up looking for a job. The unemployment rate, incorrectly, artificially, the way the morons measure it on purpose, goes down. Falsely. False indicator. Unemployment really didn't go down. The labor participation rate is lower and lower and lower under the Democrats. More and more people are actually out of work. They're just not measured. Now, conversely, you may hear soon, despite the jobs report, up labor participation rate up because all kinds of new jobs are being created in this better Trump economy. Jobs are coming back, and yes, it will take inflation way down, right? You had to slow it before you can work on reversing it and lowering prices, and prices never go back to where they were before. But, right, you're never going to see a 15-cent McDonald's hamburger. Right? Once something inflates, it generally doesn't come back down, except for, like microwaves when they first came out, couple $1,000. Innovation, technology, they shrunk, they got better, prices came down. That's market forces and innovation. That's different than a regular commodity like a McDonald's burger. Used to be 15 cents. A&W mug of root beer used to be a nickel. I can remember 49 cents a gallon gas. Guess what? It's never going back to that. Yes, good energy policy is starting to bring the price of gas down, but it's never, ever likely to go back to pre-Biden levels. That's just not how things work. There is normally a 2.2%-ish rate of inflation. That is the economically accepted, I'm not happy with it, but it's the basic accepted regular average rate of inflation. Things will always go up by this, with some exceptions. Some go up less than that, some go up way more than that, and especially if government subsidizes it, because then there's an artificial bubble made and prices go way up, like in education, like in healthcare because of Obamacare, right? But other things. Sometimes the price might come down because of a myriad of factors, but again, the likelihood they'll ever go back to where they really were is darn near impossible. But what am I saying? Job numbers are great. Jobs are coming back. Investments are coming back. It's going to take time for factories to be expanded, for new factories to be built, for new jobs to come online and continue to raise the labor participation rate. The labor workforce participation rate will continue to go up as those other new jobs come online and more people have jobs. The point here is converse to unemployment could be artificially disguised lower because people are no longer looking for work. They can temporarily go up. How does that happen? And I expect there will be a period during Trump's second term it does, and you will hear endlessly, the unemployment rate is up. Nothing about all the new jobs created, nothing about the labor participation rate, meaning more Americans are working. No, unemployment went up. That's because some of those people who were taken from the unemployment rate before, no longer looking, show back up at the unemployment office and say, oh, hey, the job market is better. I can probably find a job again now and become a productive member of society again. So guess what? They get added back onto the unemployment rate, even though they've been unemployed for maybe 3 years. They were on the unemployment rate. They were dropped off because they no longer were reporting they were looking for work. But now that they show up again and say, hey, remember me? I'm looking for a job again. Oh, now you're part of the unemployment again. So the unemployment rate percentage, supposed fake fraud, misleadingly created way they measure it number goes up. I have no doubt you'll hear that during the second. You won't hear the explanation why. You will hear CNN and the MSNBC. Oh, unemployment rate is up again. They won't explain why. They know the numbers are fudged. They know the BS in the calculation, but they want to mislead you. But now, as Paul Harvey would say, right now you know the rest of the story. You know the reality. Watch the labor workforce participation rate. That's the number that matters. That's the number that isn't fudged, hasn't changed, isn't manipulated. The numbers are the numbers. It's not, well, these people kind of sort of count, but not really. No, you're either working or you're not. You're in that number or you're not, because you're working or you're not working. The real number, it's like inflation rate under Biden. They changed the way it was calculated again. So inflation, according to them, was 9%. No, it was Jimmy Carter double-digit stagflation again. And how do you know that? Again, they fudge the inflation rate number. Well, we will count this towards prices going up and down. We'll count that towards price. But that, no, we're not going to count that. No, we're not going to count that. And they change what they do or they don't count in the calculation. Fudge the numbers. So inflation, Bidenflation, was double-digit stagflation again, just like the Carter years. The number to watch, same with every president, Democrat or Republican, Republican Congress or Democrat Congress, since World War II, the bushel basket index. The same items every year. What are the prices? Here's what it costs for that bushel basket of items. Hasn't changed since World War II. It was B, then it became C, then D, then E, then F. It's like the left doesn't want you hearing Walmart turkey packages, right? They put together a bundle of Thanksgiving-related items. Biden years, it cost more than ever before in the history of that measurement. Now, under Trump, with good policy, some, not all prices, some prices coming down, not as far as we'd like them, but again, they're never going back to McDonald's 15 cents or a mug of root beer at A&W for a nickel. You're never going to find gas for 49 cents a gallon again. Perspective, reality versus left delusion and fantasy, communomics. So, yeah, the Walmart turkey stuff package, This Thanksgiving, it's down. It's not down to where it was during Trump's first term, because again, inflation, once it's factored in, never goes away completely. At least some of that inflation is going to remain in the upward pushed prices. This is Economics 101. This is exactly why the left took economics as well as civics and history out of the schools. They want dumbed down Americans that they can lie to. You've heard the lies, damn lies, and statistics, right? Fudged the numbers, the crime stats. They redefine what is or isn't this or that a crime. The DA, Soros, DAs, and prosecutors pleading away felonies to misdemeanors. Oh, felonies are down. No, they're not. You're not prosecuting them. You're fudging the numbers. Crime wasn't down until now. Our rule of law party is back in charge again and trying to enforce laws and go past your leftist DAs and prosecutors putting these criminals back out on the streets. Because guess what? Rudy Giuliani broken windows policy works. You arrest people for the small crimes, you lock them up, some of them can be reformed and come back out and be law-abiding, productive members of societies, but criminals, most crimes are committed by the same criminals. The same. So if they're locked up for one thing, they can't be out to commit another crime or a different crime. The same crime over and over. You lock them up for X, they can't be there to commit Y and Z. This is not difficult to understand. It is not. The left don't know. They don't want to know. They don't care to know. They purposely, willfully, and malice aforethought lie, cheat, fudged the numbers, dismiss crimes, and pretend crime is down. No, look at the arrest reports. And even those are being falsified. We know from whistleblowers in Chicago and other blue enclaves, the police are being ordered to not file a crime incident report. If they go to a scene and someone is injured in an assault, if they can get them to the hospital, they can file an injury incident rather than a crime incident report and ignore the crime, fudging the numbers. And police have come out and said, we're tired of this. They're fudging the numbers. They want to keep the criminals out there on the street. If we locked them up, if we prosecuted them, if we put them behind bars, as we're starting to do now, federally charged with felonies, because locally they will not charge them and put them away with crimes. So if the federal government can step in and lock them away, crime really comes down, because idiot A isn't out there to do crime B and C after having done crime A. He or she is locked up. You're safer. Crime numbers actually, really, truly come down, like the crackdown in D.C. The people of D.C. are loving it. Assaults, murders, rapes, I said assaults, carjackings, way down, because they know what there's actually people out there to enforce the laws, and if you break the law, we're going to catch you, we're going to prosecute you, not just say, oh, don't do that again. Go ahead and do it again. We'll look the other way and pretend it ain't happening, like the Democrats were doing. All of this is easy to understand. Now, explain it to a leftard. They don't know. They don't want to know. They won't care once you explain it to them. They'll still lie. But that's the name of the left game. Lie, cheat, steal. Fudge numbers. Lie, lie, lie. Their delusion, versus reality. And people know and can see the reality if they actually look. And the unemployment number is a way for the left to lie. Look at the labor participation rate. The inflation numbers are a way for the left to lie. Look at the bushel basket index. Look it up. Don't, Reagan, trust but verify. Don't take my word for these things. Look it up. And I mean from legitimate sources, not Google sending you to CNN, MSNBC, or Mother Jones, or Political, or the Huffington Poo-Poo Post, where you get leftist, communist, communomics, and communist theory rather than dealing in facts, evidence, and reality. Okay, I've babbled on enough, right? Thank you all. Take care. God bless. And again, now you know. They can't fool you anymore. When you hear them talk about unemployment, oh, it's up under Trump. You know why that number is full of shit. And the number that matters is the labor participation rate. And trillions of investment coming back to the U.S., and it will take time for the new factories to be built and open up for more people to get back to work. And unemployment will go up as some people come back to looking for work that previously gave up. You know how this game is played now. The DC swamp doesn't want you to know that, especially the commie fascist sociocrats. They don't want you to know these things. That's why there is no economics, civics, or history in schools. Thank you all. And all that there is in universities is communomics. Communist theory, not real business. Remember the Rodney Dangerfield movie, Back to School, right? It's like Sam Kinison, but more so the business guy. We're going to create a fantasy widget. Yeah, and Rodney said, where are you going to build it? Disneyland, right? Yeah. He wanted to deal in the reality of things, of real economics in the real world, and the professors are talking economic commie theory. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Love you all. Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help. Thank you for having tuned into another Constitutionalist Podcast show. I really appreciate that you stopped by. Again, please like, share, subscribe. We need you to help spread the Constitutionalist movement. Thank you again. Take care. God bless. Love you all.